guys, it's Erin, and this is Spartacus, and he's the reason that I haven't been able to post videos as much as I used to, and I'm probably not going to be on a schedule for a while as, he's still learning and everything, and he's now 13 weeks old. He started out at 10 weeks, and he's a golden retriever puppy, and my husband, we had one, and you probably heard when he passed away in 2016, so yeah, Mike thought it was time to get another dog, so he found Spartacus, and but yeah, it's a lot of work, and I have to keep him here in the kitchen with me, and so it's kind of hard for me to even do anything with him, running around and being a puppy and needing a lot of stuff. So the only way that I was really able to do this was I'm kind of making Mike take most of the puppy care on the weekends, and I just kind of worked on this in stages, during the weekend and like a teensy bit during Monday. But I wanted to make like a fall type Halloween art journal page. I usually prefer Halloween, but aside from coloring, I haven't been able to do a whole lot. Like I said, with Spartacus coming, it was kind of like, all right, well, that kind of derailed all of my plans. But I mean, it's not a big deal. He's really smart and he'll learn. So what I'm doing is I had this old paper pack, and I got it on sale, and I have two of them because they were like, $2 for two of them. So I bought a bunch, and it's got 3 of the same sheets in there, so it's like a whole lot of paper, and there's no way I'm going to use that much. So I thought if I just tore it up and made sort of a collage-y type background and then put paint on it, it would make it, more, it would be easier to use, especially so many of the patterns. And I wasn't really concerned with the circles where the paper's supposed to hang on the wall, because I figured I would just cover it with paint or something else that I was going to put on it. You'll see a bit later, but I have a couple of coloring book pieces, like pictures cut out and colored, that I had done ahead of time, like way ahead of time. And I didn't film it because I don't really like filming coloring, because I have to speed it up, and it's just, I'm not really paying a whole lot of attention for coloring and art journaling. So it's not that big of a deal anyway. And, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it. So it's not like anything that you're really going to learn from. And so I just kind of did it on my own time, and then I cut them out so that I could put them in the journal. So you'll see those. And here I'm just using the sample. I got like an Americana set of paint that came in these cool little sample jars, which is nice because you really don't use a whole lot of paint for art journaling. At least I don't. And so it's nice to just be able to dip my finger into the pot and just have a little bit without having to buy 900 of these colors. I did end up buying a bunch of full-sized ones because they were only, like 80 cents a bottle, something like that. It was really cheap. But I still feel like it's kind of too much, because now I have to use those colors a lot to make it so that, before the paint dries out or anything like that. And I'm kind of worried I'll get bored with them, but, whatever. They were so cheap that worst comes to worst, I'll just throw it away, right? So, yeah. Here I'm just using the, traditional fall colors, red, orange, 2 different colors of yellow, so a bright yellow and then a sort of muted ochre, and kind of blending it in. I didn't want to add too much because I knew that I was going to add stuff on top. I wasn't sure what I was going to add on top. Literally every single stage I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for the next stage, because I have no idea yet. And here I'm just making my own modeling paste color, because I think the colored modeling pastes are kind of stupid because I have paint, and it's just so much easier for me to color them however I want to color them. So if I want sparkly ones, I just put sparkly stuff in it. If I want blue, I'll just put blue stuff in it. It's a lot easier than just buying a bunch of different jars of, oh, this one's my blue one. Oh no, my blue one dried out. Now, it's like, this cost me what, 50% off at Michael's, and now I have all the colors. I just have to put a little bit of paint in it. So I just wanted to do black for this, and I thought of making an entire forest back there, and I was trying to add more, more branches onto the trees, but it didn't really work, which kind of sucked, but I tried. And then this is after it dried, obviously, because you don't want to put more stencils on top of there. But I don't have makeup sponges, so I'm using one of the blending tools. And I'm just putting some subtle stenciling everywhere because I don't want it to show up too much over everything, but I want it to look different than the finger painted background. So that way you can kind of see it in different shades and different areas where there's just different bits of stencils. And I thought it would lend itself to kind of blending into the background and just looking more like, you know, different layers. I'm really not great at layering stencils because I keep thinking that, oh, it either really has to show up or it has to not show up at all. And either way, it never seems to be right for me. But I actually kind of like how this one came out, especially this chicken wire one. I really like the effect that I ended up getting. So maybe I'm getting better at it. You know, the more you practice, obviously, the more the better you're going to get at it. So I just have to keep working at it and see what I like. I was going to add a lot more modeling paste and I didn't, which I thought was funny. But yeah, this is after I glued down all the coloring pages, and then you saw those stamps there. I colored everything with watercolor, just straight watercolor. I think I used the Kuretake Gansai Tambi. And now I'm going in and I'm adding shading with these India ink Faber-Castell markers. And they don't blend, but the reason that they're blending now is because I used matte medium over everything. So if you use matte medium or gel medium or anything like that, it'll create it'll seal it. So it's not a porous surface anymore. And then that way you can do this smudging like I'm doing with my fingers. It's not showing up great on the camera, which, you know, I understand because I went from having no lighting to really bright lighting. So you're going to get shine and everything. But it works in real life. So in real life, it's actually adding shading to something that had absolutely no shading. And the bird and the guy were actually colored with the watercolor, but then I also went over it in pencil. So he's colored pencil. So I'm not going to add any shading to him because it's already been shaded. But you can see how I'm creating shadows and more depth in there, and you'll see it in the photos later too. And I also went online and I found a quote about fall, and it says, "Come little leaves, said the wind one day, come to the meadows with me and play. Put on your dresses of red and gold, for summer is past and the days grow cold." And I thought that was a cool, like, fall saying and everything. I thought of going straight Halloween, but I didn't really find anything I liked. There's a lot of quotes about, you know, witches and witching hour and all of that, and that's not really the page that I wanted to make. So this is more, I guess, like a fall one, but I did include the jack-o'-lanterns because why not? And this time I'm adding black to all the words and everything. So I made the white look a bit more distressed, and now I'm just adding some doodling around with an orange marker, and then I'm adding some shadows on where everything is. And then this is it's called Black Lava, which is really cool. It's clear gel medium with black glitter in it. And so when you wipe it on there, it looks like you're using modeling paste or something, but when it dries, it looks like stickles that you've, you know, put on there. And then I do add stickles too, but I like being able to do this with stencils, and it's a lot cheaper to just be able to slather on something if you want. But yeah, eventually when it dries, you just see the glitter, so that's cool. And I don't usually use a whole lot of stickles in my work, but I do have stickles, and I tend to use it on my on my wall art. But I thought, you know, I was already using the Black Lava, so the leaves could use a bit more embellishment. They didn't get a whole lot of obvious color from the markers because I didn't want to sit there and color again. So yeah, that's why I added more glitter, because why not? And then I was going to, you know, do the outlines on, and then I thought I would just blend it in because I thought it looked better. So I'm literally making every decision as I'm doing the first step, I'm thinking of the next one. So here you can see it in order and read the the little poem thing. I don't really remember if it was cited or anything, but it was just a quote I found on Pinterest. And so you can see how that black lava dried. It's just black shine after that. So I thought that was cool. And anyway, thank you for watching, and I will try to have videos when I can, when Spartacus is more chill and everything. And until then, thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you know when I post a video. Okay, bye.